Yeah. This Cassidy the hustler. Shout out Mikey T, the movie star. We live on Report Card Radio. Show the boy the respect he deserve. Easy.
No, Cass, it's great to have you back, especially after just releasing your new project, The Science, man. How does it feel to be releasing a new project in this climate?
It felt beautiful, man. Definitely needed some more hip hop, some more bars back in the industry, back in the game. So streets is with the heavy. I'm not letting up. I got another project coming December 1st and another project coming February the 1st. So it's just nonstop.
That's what's up, man. On this tape, The Science, you address a lot you address a lot of current topics, past topics. What was the basis behind the title, The Science?
It's a science to making hip hop music. A lot of people think you just play around with it and have fun with it, but it's really a real science. It's a real way you're supposed to do it. Certain rules and guidelines and regulations that you're supposed to follow. So that's what I represent and that's what I bring to the table. So that's what that's about.
What's up, man? On this tape, you actually spoke on DMX. The Science, you actually said that the Rough Riders CEOs didn't want to pair you with DMX. Could you explain that?
I was down with Rough Riders my whole life, but you never seen me and DMX work on a record together. So that's what I was referring to.
Did you have much of an opportunity to actually build with DMX back then?
Yeah, plenty of times. We got a chance to build, hang out, talk, but we just never got a chance to work on music together.
Yeah, it was definitely odd never seeing you two on a single together. Were there records that we just never heard or you just never had a chance?
Yeah, we never worked on records together. The only thing me and DMX did, we had a Rough Rider cypher one time. I think it was for BET. And it was me, DMX, Eve, and Murder Mook. And we all ciphered together live on TV. It's classic footage. But we never worked on the record together, no. I just know that I was always a fan of X. I always with X and wanted to work with him. It just never happened.
That's what's up, Cass, man. It was dope to hear you address topics like that on The Science. You even addressed the whole ARAB situation on Crabs in a Bucket. What made you want to address that on that track?
It's like an old situation that happened, you know what I'm saying? Old issues that people still not all the way sure about. Like there's a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of lack of information. So I was just touching on the topic, letting people see it from a different point of view. You know what I mean? Seeing it from a conversation that me and Ab had. And to see his side of see how what predicament he could have been in when these things was happening. So that's why I wanted to rap about it. I thought it, you know what I mean? It just came to me like that when I was writing that record. It wasn't like planned out to actually talk about that, but when I got to the second verse, that's just how it came. And another reason why I touched on that, because I wanted people to see that sometimes when things is going good, like when things was going good for Ab and it looked like he was about to sign deals and it looked like everything was on the up and up, a lot of people was riding with him and it looked like everything that he was doing was the right decision to make, regardless if it was wrong or not. And now that things are looking more down, everybody not as supportive, everybody not riding the same, things is not looking the same. And it looked like a lot of the things he did is wrong now since things went wrong. So I just wanted to show people, like, you know what I mean, is more than just this industry shit and this rap shit or whatever role you're trying to portray as a rapper. Because you got family, you got kids, you got loved ones, you got people that love you. And if you separate it from that, it's a lot more pressure than just rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to bring to the table with doing that song also. Because I know that not just AR, but a lot of other people that's caught up in that situation got family, got kids, got responsibilities, and that shit is hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to to bring that song to the table.
No, you're 100% right, Cass, because, you know, back in the day when Ab was on Instagram or on live videos talking about smoke, you know what I mean, talking about beef this, beef that, everybody would think like, okay, he's saying the coolest stuff. They'd be supporting what he's saying. And now that he's locked up, they're like, he was incriminating himself.
For sure. For sure. So it's like, that's why you can't really get caught up into what people think and what people feel. You got to make the best decisions for you and your team and just stick to that.
You know, Cass, Ab actually recently just told me when you had him on tours, when you would bring ARAB on tour with you, that people that would come up to battle you, he would actually battle them. And he was telling me he would slaughter a lot of them city to city. Could you comment on that?
For sure. That's what we do. When I was coming up, I had to battle a lot. So when he was coming up under me and he was getting them bars up, I told him, like, it's going to be a lot of people coming after you, so you're going to have to get in that bag. So when we was running around going from city to city, anybody that rap, you know what I mean, they had to go through Ab before they could get to me because I was already done with battle rap at that time. So that's when he was able to, like, you know what I mean, really test it out, get comfortable and turn into an animal. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of practice off these dudes around the world. There's actually some footage on YouTube you could probably look up. Me and Ab, you know what I'm saying, being in different situations like that where he got in little mini battles with dudes and stuff like that.
You know, Cass, a lot of people like to discredit the amount of battles that you've been in, but I'm listening to a record the other day and I'm listening to an interview. Meek Mill is actually on record with crediting you as saying he's probably battled and bodied 5,000 people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people, man, for sure. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of credible witnesses. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that put in a lot of work that seen how I was giving it up back in the day.
What were your favorite tracks from the Science, though, Cass? What were some of your favorite topics that you addressed on the tape?
I feel all of the topics needed to be addressed. They all play a part somehow, some way. It might affect different people in different ways. And that's the reason why I do music like how I do it. Because everybody feeling the album, everybody love it. But if you ask anybody what's their favorite song, the majority of people will give you different songs. Nobody had the same favorite song. Every song will affect different people in different ways. That's what I love about making music. And that's what I love about the type of music that I do. Because some people can make good music, but when people hear the record, they all gonna like the same song. And they all gonna like the same thing about the same song. And most of the songs will sound similar. But I'm able to bring a lot of different types of music to the table, talk about a lot of different things, a lot of different topics, things that's really going on in my life because I can really rap. So that's the reason why I do it like that.
The Science kind of picked up right where our last interview ended, where they were asking you on the Science, like, Cassidy, what did you do when you got out of jail? When you had the hottest album out, the #1 album, one of the #1 singles. So, Cass, can you take me into that when you got out of jail? Like, what were your first steps? You know, you had the #1 album.
Well, when I first got out of jail, I settled in for a little bit, a couple days, you know what I'm saying? Got myself back together, chill with the family. And then I went to Arizona and I started working on a Bars album. But this was before the accident, but after the jail situation. So I was in Arizona working on the album, putting in work, recording, trying to get back, you know what I mean, into the swing of things to get this new project out. So I really ain't go on tour and reap the benefits of the album that I already had out because of the jail time that I missed. I just wanted to get a new record out quick. You know what I mean? I wanted to show them that I was back active. So I went back in the studio and started recording the Bars album. And once I got pretty much along the way with the Bars album, got a lot of records recorded, I came back up top and I started finishing recording up top in New York. And that's when I got in the accident. So the accident pushed a lot of things back. And once I got out the accident, I had a lot more to talk about other than the case and the jail situation. So that's why I had to do more records and record more records before I actually released the album altogether.
So, Cass, I want to ask, what were the plans for your third album, Bars? Did you go with My Drink and My Two-Step because it naturally caught on?
That wasn't my choice for the single. That was actually a label decision. And that's what I be trying to explain to artists that want to get label deals and want to get in the industry. A lot of decisions that's made is not going to be 100% yours. So I didn't want to go with Drinking Two Step. That was a record that I wanted to make, but I didn't want to go with that as a single. I felt like all of the things that I just came through, like the jail situation, the accident, all of the pressure that was on me at that time, I just didn't feel like dancing and partying and doing a club song. I wanted to do a song that expressed more pain and told people more about what I was dealing with and going through. So maybe a record like Innocent Man, that's like one of my biggest records that never was a single. I never shot a video to it or nothing like that, but it's still one of my biggest records. I felt like that would have been a better single, like initially, to show people what I was dealing with and going through, and then you could have built up into a record like Drinking Two Step later. But at that time, social media wasn't as big. Well, it wasn't even big. None of these social media sites was really out or popping, so information used to get passed around different. So everybody wasn't familiar with what I was going through. A lot of people thought I was still locked up. A lot of people thought I never got locked up. A lot of people thought I died in an accident and wasn't even still alive. It was like a lot of misunderstandings at the time. So to come right back and just say, I got my drink and my two-step, it was like it added more confusion. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like if we would have came with a story that would have helped explain why I was missing in action for a few months when I was so hot and what I dealt with, I felt like it would have made more sense. We tried to incorporate the story a little bit into the Drinking Two-Step video, but I'm not sure it registered it as good as if we would have did a different type of record.
What was the status of the title of the album? Were you going through a few different titles, or was it always going to be Bars?
Yeah, that was the main title that I always had, the Barry Adrian Reese story. It was about my real life, like things that I was dealing with outside of the industry, outside of making music. So I felt that the title was perfect.
So you also had John Legend on Bars with production from Kanye West. Can you tell me about getting a chance to work with Ye in '07? You had told me about meeting him back when he showed you those 3 videos.
For sure. I'm a big fan of Kanye, man. I love him, man. I think he like a genius. Let the way his mind work. And so it was definitely a blessing to be able to do a song with him, his production, and with John Legend, such a big singer, like with such a huge voice. So that was a good look for me. You know what I'm saying? I was still up and coming at the time, even though I did have some success and some records out. I still was up and coming and on the come up. So to work with artists like that was a good look. And I actually reached out to Kanye a little bit after that um, um, to do the Drinking Two-Step remix. So the Drinking Two-Step remix was me, Kanye West, and Neo, the singer. And it was Neo addressing a lot of serious topics that he was dealing with at the time. And for like the biggest R&B artist at the time and like the biggest rapper Kanye to jump on my remix at the time when I was coming home, it was a good look. So I got nothing but love for Kanye.
Kanye recently said that he wanted to give artists back his cut of their masters. What do you think about Kanye doing something like that?
Um, I think artists definitely deserve it, especially certain artists really do deserve their masters. All artists don't play the same part. All artists is not 100% responsible for the material that you hear. So you might think they deserve their masters because you think that they're responsible for everything that you hear. But if you knew all of the people that played a part and contributed to the music that you heard, then you wouldn't feel like just one artist deserved their master. But for artists like me, that's responsible for 100% of the things that you hear, right? 100% of the music that they make, and not just their music, but write other people's music and give other people ideas and contribute in a bunch of ways. I feel as though they do deserve their masters, or eventually to get them one day, like to work towards getting them. And that's the direction the business going in now anyway, though. With the advance of technology and the advance of information that's available, artists realizing what they worth and what they could get And that's why you're seeing a lot more independent artists, a lot of independent labels, and people just trying to figure out how to do it from the muscle. And when you do it from the muscle, you get a larger percentage of what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? It might be harder to get a bigger fan base and spread out to the world like how you want to. But that's a grind, that's a fight, that's what you got to do. But at the end of the day, you'll still get a larger percentage of what you work, so you'll feel better about working.
So, Cass, going from there, I wanted to ask you, man, how did the beef, if you would call it that even, with Meek Mill originally start?
Misunderstandings. You know what I mean? I had a relationship with Meek Mills before his like success. We did a lot of records together, hung out a lot of times. There's even a lot of footage that you could pull up and see of us, you know what I mean, developing a relationship before his success. But it was once he got more successful and started putting out singles, I reached out to him to work on a record. It made more sense now. We had records before when I was popping already and you was like up and coming. So it was like more one-sided, you know what I'm saying? But now that you got records out and you popping like throughout the whole country, if we do a record together, it'd be big for the city. So I reached out and tried to get it done, but I guess it was a misunderstanding in the timing and the response and getting the record done. It seemed like it was like real easy before the success came, but I still had success and I was making it easy for him to reach out, get records done. But when he got a little bit of success, it seemed like it was like it just was, the timing was off, things was different. So at the time, I just responded in a way, and that's how the whole shit started. But, you know, he don't owe me a record. It's not like he gotta definitely do nothing for me. Like, we don't never gotta work again for the rest of our life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it just be misunderstandings of emotions. Sometimes you don't understand what niggas got going on in their life, what they capable of. I mean, he could be thinking like, yo, Cass gonna get busy, so I gotta really fully lock in and dedicate time to writing the best verse so we could do it big for the city, and I don't got that time right now. Who knows what could have been going on, you know what I'm saying? So it could have been just a misunderstanding, misinterpretations, but shit like that happened, and that's why we started dropping the songs and things like that. But that shit is old, is over with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I don't really got no hard feelings. I don't really feel no type of way about none of that shit from back then. It's like, it's over with now.
So, Cass, let me ask you, was there ever really an offer on the table for the two of you to battle? I remember hearing something about $100,000.
Me and Meek,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe when we was dropping the songs, dissing each other, yeah, maybe it was offers then, you know what I'm saying, for us to battle. I'm not sure. I think back then when we was dissing each other, people did want to see us battle or something like that.
You know, Cass, I could be mistaken, but I feel like when the idea of you battling Meek came about, that's when the promoters saw it like, okay, Cassidy is ready to get back in the ring. Let's throw a bag at him to battle.
Um, I'm not sure. I never asked them. But I always was ready to battle. I never was never ready. I just told them that they had to get a big enough bag for me to come back. And I knew that these leagues didn't have that type of bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had relationships with the league owners. I used to talk to them. I seen what they had going on. And at that time, they didn't have a big enough bag for me to come back. So that's the reason why I wasn't battling, not just because I didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wanted to. And that's why when the king of the dot cats, Alki David and all them came with the right bag that I was asking for, the $250,000, I came back and started getting busy.
So just to clear everything up and end that whole situation, how did you and Meek go about clearing up your issues, or were the issues never cleared up?
Uh, it was never really an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, like, he never really did nothing. He ain't steal nothing from me. He ain't take no money from me. Ain't no money come up short. You know what I mean? He ain't beat none of my homies up. He ain't shoot at me. It was like we ain't even fight. Like, it was nothing that really happened. It was just a misunderstanding. Like, you know what I mean? Just niggas saying shit, words flying, like, you know what I mean? Twitter shit and all that. So I'm happy to see Meek successful. A nigga that I knew you know what I'm saying, had potential and believed in before he got success and to see him successful, I'm happy about that. I love that. That's why I reached out. I just wanted to work together, and it was a misunderstanding, but there's no real negativity towards the dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the relationship that we had before he got famous, all of the times that I was with him and chilled with him, it was all cool. It was never no problems. But ever since then, we just didn't communicate or hang around each other. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I want to ask you, man, what did you make of the beef that escalated over really nothing between Meek Mill and Drake?
Well, I don't really know if it's over nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the real reasons could be. Sometimes people disguise reasons for why they do things. They could make it seem like it's for one reason, but it could be for ulterior motives. So I don't really know what they going through or what they dealing with. But I thought it was good for the culture just to see two artists on that level. You know what I'm saying? Putting out songs and dissing each other, and you know what I'm saying, having difference of opinion, like or feel different about the culture. And if you feel some way about the culture and feel like somebody violated, you should be able to bring it to the table. So and if somebody brings something to the table, then you got the right to respond. And that's why Drake start going crazy back to back. You know what I'm saying? So I like that type of energy. That's my favorite part about hip hop. When people competitive and going at each other and proving who the best, that's my favorite part about hip hop. So if you ever ask me about like battling or like people being competitive or like going at it with each other, I love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to see people get hurt or, you know what I'm saying, take it outside of the industry or outside of making music. But when they making music and they being competitive and going at each other, I love it.
All right, so Cass, you're a battle rap veteran. You're also a diss track veteran. So I'm going to ask you about this, man. What did you think of Meek releasing a diss track on you like ASAP, but then it took him so long to respond to Drake?
Well, it took them long to respond to me too. It took them months. I think 7 months or something to respond to me. I think it took them a long time. So I figured that it might have took him a long time to respond to Drake too. I mean, he didn't just respond right away. Like I was dropping record after record, and it took him a little minute to respond.
So it was the Repo and the Raid records that actually came right next to each other.
I think Red, I think Red came first. Red came first. Then I think we had to wait. And then Repo came, and then right after Repo, I dropped body. I'm about the body. Like I think I dropped another one after that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just so it was a minute ago. You can look up them records though, man. I went crazy on them Johns, man. I was talking to the boy.
Your battle rap tracks are comparable to like Hit 'Em Up. I wanted to talk to you about releasing your fourth album. Can you tell me about the years, the 2 years between Bars and Cash?
Uh um well, that was a changing moment in my life because up into the Bars album, I was with a major. Sony BMGG Records. Had an artist deal with them. And I was signed to a production company, Full Surface, with Swiss Beats. So I had two different deals with the Split Personality album, the I'm a Hustler album, and the Bars album. After the Bars album, I got free from my G Records contract, scot free. Not in the red, not owing nothing, just scot free. And then I eventually got out of my Full Surface contract. So now I was out of my G Records contract, out of my Full Service contract, scot free. So I had issues with being signed to a record label. So I didn't want to run back and just go get another record deal. I wanted to test the independent waters. We had enough money and enough fame already. I got Swiss Beats, he the producer, I'm the rapper. What do we need a deal for? We could just make the music, put it out, and get to the bag. So that's what I was trying to do at the time. But Swiss had a different vision. You know what I'm saying? He was in a different bag and wanted to do something different. So the directions that we was trying to go in at the time was contradicting each other. So, you know what I mean? That's why I went in a different direction. But I didn't want to go get a deal or sign up with nobody else. That's not the bag I was trying to go in. But I still wanted to do things that people was used to me doing, like when I was with the majors. So I needed an investor. So that's when I started thinking about who do I know that got bags that can invest in these projects. Started reaching out to some sports players that I had relationships with. And eventually I reached out to Carmelo Anthony, and we put together a situation as business partners. And I put together the paperwork and the contract, and he signed off to be the investor into my company. So I was still independent. I still own my own production company, and I was signed under Larceny Family Entertainment. But Carmelo Anthony and Crossover Entertainment was investors into my move that I was making at that time. And that was with the Cash album that was distributed through E1 Entertainment.
So if we're talking about the Cash album, man, I want to talk about one of the gems from that album, Peace, produced by Boy Wonder.
For sure.
Man, can you tell me how you made that connection with the Toronto-based producer?
I had a connection with him first and foremost. Like, we used to work together like back in the day. Him, Vinyls is another producer that's down with Boy Wonder that's making a lot of hit records right now. He came up under me. We always working together from the beginning. When I got out of those contracts that I told you about, when I got independent after the Bars album, those was the dudes that I was working with a lot, and the dudes that was around me, and we was developing the sound. And they just kept going. They developed the sound and went and started working with Drake and a bunch of other people. And you know what I'm saying? I started to get other producers and started to go in different directions. But developing a sound and giving them the confidence that they needed to do what they did came up, you know what I mean, around me.
Boy Wonder went on to have a lot of success. Currently, he's working with Drake's label, OVO. There were a couple other notable features on the album, like Maya. You had Game, Junior Reed, Red Cafe, and A.R.A.B. was featured on the album as well.
For sure. That's a dope-ass album, man. Everybody that's tuned in, if y'all ain't hear it yet, y'all need to go check it out. It's on all platforms. It's a crazy project.
I wanted to play it into this, man, because you actually had Eve featured on your album. And she's an amazing talent from Philly, man.
Yeah, Eve. It's my homie.
You know, I wanted to speak with you about the Philly top 5, man. The top 5, like, artists in the industry to ever come out of Philly. The most popular artist to ever come from Philly, man. I just wanted to give you my list, Cass, to let you know how much respect I had for you as a poppin' MC in the game, man.
Okay.
So my top 5 would have to be, this is just personal. You can drop your top 5 on me after this. And remember, this is like the most poppin' that the industry saw.
Okay.
So I had A.R.A.B. as a top 5, but Gilly, 4. But I'm going to flip that because I feel like obviously you got to pay Freeway his respects. So I'm going to go Gilly 5, Freeway 4, Beanie Siegel number 3, your number 2, Meek Mill number 1. The reason I give you the position over Beans is because I feel like the general public got to see your face a lot more than they got to see Beans. Personally, that's how I feel. I feel like you had a bit more industry success than Beans had.
Like that's a hard one, man. My top 5, because it's like, but I would have to go with, first of all, number 1 would be Will Smith. Will Smith would be my number 1. I was a fan of Will Smith before any of those top 5s that you named. Like, any of those dudes came out. Since I was a kid, I was riding around playing Will Smith, and he was inspiring me to want to rap since a baby. So I gotta put him first. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would put Schoolie D in there because he even inspired people like Big, who they say is the best. Like, you know what I mean? He inspired dudes to do gangster rap. Like, even Ice-T say he started gangster rap. So it's like, You gotta put him up in there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna definitely have to go with Eve. Like, you know what I'm saying? She transcended not just a platinum selling artist, but I would even put Eve before Meek. Like, she sold records like platinum a lot of times, and this one records was really selling. Then she transitioned, got her own sitcom, you know what I mean, was on TV, you know what I mean, for seasons. Then she transitioned and did movies, you know what I mean, big movies. So I definitely got to put Eve up in there. I can't like separate state property. I just got to put them all together.
Wow.
Like I can't put Free, like, cause Free couldn't have did everything he did if it wasn't for what Chris and Neef or what Petey was doing, or you know what I mean, what Owen Sparks was doing. Sieg wouldn't have seemed as impactful if he didn't have that team of spitters under him. So, you know what I mean, I can't really separate them. I put the whole state property together, but they definitely on the list. So what was that? That was Will Smith, Eve, all of the state property, and next is I gotta put Meek. You know what I'm saying? As far as all of the things that I did, the time period that I've been around, as many people as I inspired, even the people that was on your list, like dudes I told you that I was giving information to and putting on, and you know what I mean, doing shit with before they even got where they was at, like AR, like Meek, like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the dudes you named. Like, I remember I was lit already and already figured out the science and was passing off information to them when they was trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I got to put me there. So that's my top 5 right there.
Man, Cass, that's an amazing top 5 list right there, man. That's an amazing top 5 right there, man. You know, we could talk all day, man, but we'll just have to save it for the next interview though, bro.
Thanks for having me again, man. You know I'm always here, man. Whenever you need me, just tap in. We do it all over again, man.
Hell yeah, Cass. All right, salute, man. I'm going to let everybody to know. Go download that new mixtape, The Science, and he's got a lot more work coming out in the near future.
Yeah, The Science is on all platforms, man. It's everywhere. And everybody tap into the webpage, www.CassidyTheHustler.com. Get that merchandise, these hats, snapbacks. Get fly, man. Tap in.